Happy Thanksgiving, gentlemen. It's your favorite commissioner coming at you once again, pre-recorded for another edition of the League Recap. We are on the League 13, year 13 of the league, week 12 of the League 13. I'm doing this again because I have a really old phone, and I was at the 10-minute mark of my video, just getting to the end, and it said I didn't have enough storage. Fuck me. So, doing this again. So, hopefully it sounds better than the first time I did it, which you won't know because you won't hear it. We got 2 weeks left in this regular season. Like you guys all know, a regular season of 14 weeks, and then we have week 15 is wild card week for the regular playoffs, and then week 16 and 17 are the semifinals and the finals for the toilet bowl and the regular championship bowl. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it. So first matchup we have is between Perk and Ben. Ben, as we all know, is a little tidbit here, something, I don't know. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Ben is still the only person eliminated from playoffs. So Ben has nothing to play for, which is why he lost. Actually, he lost because his team sucks. But Perk, 128 to Ben's 104. Perk, you're 6 and 6 and in 6th place. Conveniently enough for number 6. Ben 2 and 10, as we all know, in 10th place. Ben, I don't know. Be interesting to know if you've been in the basement the whole year. I don't know how you did week 1, but I would guess if you had the lowest score week 1, which you may have, you might have been in 10th place all year, which is kind of interesting. Matchup wise, Perk, you had Patty Mahomes get you 29 points, 21 points out of Terry McLaurin. I said this in my first video. I think it's worth including, so I'm going to say it again. I'm certain that I'm the only one in this league who actually understands the Scary Terry reference for Terry McLaurin. Y'all need to figure out what that's referencing, because it's worth it. Actually, you probably won't think it's worth it. I think it's worth it, because I think it's funny. I like that show. 22 points out of Tony Pollard, and yeah, that was all worth mentioning. The only other double-digit point getter you had was Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz and Tony Pollard. What is this, 2021? I made that joke in my last video, and it sounded a lot better than when I just said it right now. I shouldn't have said it. I should have just let it go. Fuck. Ben, on the other hand, as I said in the other video, you had one player get you 20 points. It was 27 from something called Bucky Irving. When your high point getter is Bucky Irving, I mean, his name's Bucky. That's not even an NFL name. That's like something from like the Little Rascals or something. I don't know. Anyways, next matchup we have is between Matt Novak and Brandon. And as you can all tell, I'm not Matt Novak doing the recap because he's on some fucking vacation in the desert, some goddamn place. I don't know. He thinks it's a good idea when it's 20 degrees here in Minnesota to go to the desert. I don't know. Maybe he's looking for cactuses or something. I don't know. But he still managed to get a win against our former first place holder, Brandon. Brandon, you have had a mighty fall from the top. I want to say, I should have looked this up, that you started the year 5-0 or something like that. And now you're in 8th place. 6 and 6 and in 8th place to Matt, 7 and 5 and in 3rd place. 133 to 101. Not the biggest kicking of the week, but up there. Matt, you had 30 points out of Cortland Sutton. You had 20 points out of George Kittle. You had double-digit points out of pretty much everybody except for your flex and one running back. And okay, so never mind. Actually, you had 3 people. Whatever, doesn't matter. Overall, good showing. I feel like I don't mention this enough. Maybe it's not worth mentioning. But the average score, I keep track of the average of all the scores that we've ever had in all 13 years of the league. And I know we had some different scoring in certain years, so maybe it's a little skewed, but after 13 years, it's probably evened out. And the average is like 129, which feels a little high to me just because I feel like most weeks there's a lot of winners in that like 110 to 130 range. So maybe it's a little skewed, but regardless, Matt scored above the average. And I feel like when you score 130 points, you mostly win, except for somebody in this league, which we will get to in a minute. Anyways, back to the recap or matchup. Brandon, you had 23 points at A.J. Brown and 22 points out of Jacoby Myers. Yeah, that was all that was worth benching. So, yeah, like I said, Brandon, you are 6 and 6 and in 8th place. Matt 7-5, third place. Matchup. Oh, sorry, I have notes. Matt, you are currently on a 3-game winning streak. Congratulations. Matt, you also broke a 3-game losing streak to Brandon. If you would have lost this week, you would have had a 4-game losing streak, which sucks. And speaking of 4-game losing streaks, Brandon, you are currently on a 4-game losing streak. That sucks, like I just said. Speaking of sucks, the matchup, not of the week, but the, what's the word I'm looking for here? The biggest shootout of the week was between Mitch and Corey. And somebody had to lose this one, and unfortunately for Mitch, it was Mitch. 158 to 169. Corey stays in first place with an 8-4 record. Mitch, on the other hand, is 6-6 and in fifth place. Mitch, 32 points out of Jaden Daniels, even though his team sucked against Dallas. 20 points out of Cooper Kupp, 20 points out of Jackson Smith and Jigba, 25 points out of Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah, I mean, 158 points. What do you do? Although I don't know why I'm talking to Mitch specifically, because he's told me multiple times that he doesn't watch these, so fuck you, Mitch. I do have a tidbit on that. Mitch had the second highest score this week and still lost, so that sucks, because that means he could have played anybody in the league and beaten anybody except for Corey, and he played Corey, so that's a shitty draw. Also, in the history of the league, we've had 277 people score, or it's happened 277 times where somebody has scored over 157 points. 8% of the time, those people lose. This matchup was the 23rd time that happened. So out of 277 times that somebody broke 157, this is the 23rd time. Mitch is only one of 23 people who have lost. 8%. So, hey, if you score over 157 points, you have a 92% win rate, and Mitch did not get that. That sucks. But, oh well. Suck. Maybe you should watch your recaps, then you wouldn't suck so bad, Mitch. The next matchup we have is between Nick and Tim, speaking of powerhouses. Tim gets another victory. 5-7 in the 9th place to Nick's 6-6 and in 7th place, 121 to 85. Nick, you got the weekly low score. That is your second weekly low score in the last 3 weeks, and that is your third weekly low score overall this year. Remember when you won like 3 years in a row? Remember those days? God, that must have been fun for you. Nick, that was also the 5th lowest score you've ever put up in the history of the league, 85 points. God, it must have been fun when you were winning so much. Tim, you had 21 points out of Devon Achane, 29 points out of Josh Jacobs. Yeah, I mean, CJ Stroud had you 18, CeeDee Lamb had you 17. I mean, yeah, 121, although it's technically below average, I feel like that's a solid week. There's nothing wrong with that week. Nick, on the other hand, you had Nico Collins get you 20 points. That was all that was worth mentioning on your team. Yeah. So, I guess not much more to say about that matchup. The last matchup, as you all know, is matchup of the week, and it goes to Mike and his opponent, me. Yeah, I got my ass kicked. 41 point differential, give or take. I lost 108 to 149. Mike has been on a tear the last several weeks. I feel like he's broken 130 like the last 4 weeks or something like that. I don't actually know. I'm just going off my shitty memory, but I'm pretty sure that that's mostly accurate. I'm 7-5 and in 4th place. Mike is also 7-5, but he's in 2nd place because he has more points than me. I had 20 points out of Aaron Jones and 24 points out of Jonnu Smith. Yeah, JJ shit the bed for me. Wait a minute. I just realized I think I fucked something up. Oh, I didn't say Corey's guys. Corey had 23 points out of Lamar Jackson, 30 points out of Jordan Addison, and 46 points out of Saquon Barkley. Sorry. Just realized that in my previous video, I made a comment about Jordan Addison fucking my guy JJ over. And then when I came across JJ and his points, I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't mention Jordan Addison. So, sorry, Corey. You had a really good team, though. Yeah, my team, 108 points. That sucks. Mike, on the other hand, almost 20 points out of Bo Nix, 21 out of Puka Nacua, 27 out of DJ Moore, 25 out of Trey McBride. He did the old Ben move and played 2 tight ends, or Corey, I guess, does that a lot too. He had 18.4 out of his flex, TJ Hawkinson. So yeah, 149 points for Mike. Very good week. Third highest score of the week, which is really good. Mike, you're currently on a 3-game winning streak. You're also on a 3-game winning streak against me. So congratulations on that. Must be nice. So last thing we're going to get to is the magic numbers. So there are 4 of us that control our destiny. So Corey, Mike, Matt, and myself. If we win out, well, of course, Corey's magic number is 1. So if he has one more win the next 2 weeks, he's in playoffs. Mike, Matt, and myself, if we win out, we're automatically in playoffs. Mitch, Perk, Nick, and Brandon all have a magic number of 3. So they need to win out and get one more loss out of 7th place. Who's in 7th place? Nick. So Nick is currently in 7th place, and he has 6 losses. So in order for any of you guys to get in, not necessarily Nick, but whoever's in 7th place, the losses have to go up to at least 7. It would be beneficial to everybody if the losses went up to 8 in the next 2 weeks. But you guys need at least to go up to 7. Also, so you know how magic numbers work. Tim, your magic number is 4. So you need to win out and have whoever's in 7th place lose each week. So you're kind of on the edge. So it's really looking like it's going to come down to Corey's most likely in, Tim's most likely out, and then the last 5 spots are going to be between me, Matt, Mike, Mitch, Perk, Nick, and Brandon. We are all either 6-6 and 7-5 or 7-5. So it's going to be a fun race to the edge. But we'll see how it goes. So I'm super late for picking up my kids from daycare, and I got shit to do. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a happy Thanksgiving.